Well, hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this latest random video. I'm your host, The Report of the Week. So I'm changing things up a little bit, at least this time around. First and foremost, I hope everyone out there watching this had a wonderful Christmas, or whatever it is that you celebrate. Hope you just had a wonderful holiday season. Obviously, it's still in full swing, and as you can see right behind me here, have some decorations. Have Jack Skellington right there, as you could see, though believe me when I say it, he's mostly interested just in these mints that he's sitting on top of. We also have a number of toy soldiers right over there. They're engaged in conflict. They're fighting over the nutcracker right there, although neither side really knows this, but it's like a Trojan horse type of situation. But nonetheless, life goes on, and now we begin to get to New Year. And this got me thinking. This whole video idea was sort of... It came to be because I was wondering this myself, and then I figured, well, I mean, maybe I'm just the only person that was wondering this, but I would have to assume other people are as well. I was thinking to myself, you know, I've tried all sorts of items in the last year. I've tried plenty of releases that I hated, and plenty of releases that I thought were all right, and a few that I really liked. I was thinking to myself, because I don't really keep record of this, I was thinking, of all the reviews that I have done in 2023, what were the items that I thought were the worst? So I went ahead, I looked through every single video I did over the last year, and today I'm going to be highlighting the 5 worst fast food releases in 2023. Now this is based on my reviews. Again, I went through every single video I did in the last year, and these are the 5 that have the lowest scores, and the ones that I just really, really disliked. So I'm just going to go in order from the 5th one, which is going to be the 5th worst, and then of course the last one will be the worst release of 2023. So let's get into it. Release number 5. We're going to go back to February of 2023, and take a look at these loaded tots from Domino's. Today I'm going to be reviewing the cheddar bacon loaded tots from Domino's. So you have the potato tots. Sprinkled atop is bacon, mozzarella cheese, cheddar cheese, and a garlic parmesan sauce. And it's available at the price of $7. It's weird, they almost... I could see the moisture, that's the interesting thing. But they look equally dry and burnt as they do moist, which is just an interesting observation. The loaded tots from Domino's, the cheddar bacon variety, going in. They kind of fall apart when I try to go in with a fork, but I'll just eat what I can. You've got to be kidding me. It was bizarre to me how an item with as many ingredients that this has is as bland and as dull as it is. And I was looking at this and I was thinking to myself, this is actually what they were... I mean, you're paying $8 for this? And this is what you're getting? They've got some good things on their menu, and this isn't one of them. I am not a fan, and I wouldn't recommend it. Save your time, save your money, and save your appetite. It's just very disappointing and underwhelming. It's not disgusting, but it's everything but, pretty much. Out of 10, therefore, I'm going to be giving the cheddar bacon loaded tots from Domino's. I'm just going to have to give it a 3.5 out of 10. Yeah, the loaded tots from Domino's, those weren't very good. They were still edible, mind you, but the big problem was that they were missing some important ingredients, and they were just a bit dry, and that's no good. Now, on the subject of ingredients, we go to number 4 on the list, the Taco Bell Salsa Verde Grilled Chicken Burrito. Quite the name to it, but let's see what the issue was with that. Taco Bell has released their new Salsa Verde Grilled Chicken Burrito. It's available for the price of $2. Included is grilled white meat chicken, seasoned rice, sour cream, a 3-cheese blend. So that would include their cheddar cheese, their mozzarella cheese, and pepper jack cheese. It comes with a green chili sauce, and then it's all wrapped up in a tortilla. Here's the size of the burrito. Head for scale, and tie knot for scale likewise. Going in. This isn't a trick question, like I said, and I think I'll take another bite, but I think this matches my assessment without even having to take a bite. When I went through the ingredients, what was the big ingredient that I mentioned that's even in the name of this product? Green chili sauce. And if you're thinking to yourself, what green? What are you even talking about, Review Bra? That's exactly my point. I neither see any, nor do I taste any. I'm just going to have to start ripping this thing up. You could see, I tore this thing apart. I'm looking for the sauce, and I really can't find any. It's like, now it's getting silly, where I'm sitting here and I'm looking and I see, is that kind of green in color? Like, I can't really even tell. One that I got, the way it was served to me, 3 out of 10. Very disappointing, and when its namesake is totally missing, and in such an egregious manner. Mind you, this is supposed to be the salsa verde burrito, and when it doesn't have that, that's a huge problem. So again, on the theme of ingredients, the issue with that burrito was, again, it was that verde sauce. The big problem with it, of course, is that was the namesake of the item, and at the time, I remember they were making such a big deal over the sauce that was on this burrito, only for it to be completely and totally absent, and when it was missing such an important ingredient, it just kind of made the entire point of the item pretty much just moot. There was nothing to it. So that's why that one was sort of harshly received on my end. Now, this next one doesn't really involve ingredients, just the quality of the item. We go over to Burger King. Their spicy melt, this one had quite a few issues with it, so get ready. This is called the spicy melt, aka they call it the spicy one. And what it has, 2 beef patties. Now they say these are Whopper Junior patties, so in total the 2 beef patties would equal around a 1/4 pound of beef. It has jalapenos, caramelized onions, American cheese, a creamy, spicy sauce, and it is on a toasted bun. Zooming in, you can see the jalapeno, the American cheese slices, as well as the bread. And you can see there's a cross-section of it, freshly cut, going in. The idea itself might not be that bad. Might actually be a pretty good idea, but the execution of it took a good idea and just threw it right in the trash. First and foremost, the creamy, spicy sauce is not spicy in the least. It's like this creamy, flavorless liquid. All I could taste is just the creamy texture to it. And one unappetizing thing is that the sauce, as it combines with the caramelized onions, it takes upon this sort of slimy quality. Is a few of the onions, not even a lot, but just a few of them, they're too charred, for lack of a better word. And as a result, when it's so flavorless, then you're tasting that burnt char on the onions, and that cuts through everything. So now I'm eating this, there's really no spice. It's slimy, and then there's this burnt flavor that comes in as well. Yeah, that's not all that appetizing. So therefore, out of 10, rating the spicy melt from Burger King, it's disappointing. I wouldn't get it again. I'm just going to give this a 3 out of 10. Yeah, I don't think there was a way to describe that item except for just plain gross. That one, again, it was just that sauce was a slimy texture to it, which that in and of itself is it's unappetizing. especially when it's not supposed to have that sort of texture. So that was a big problem, again, in and of itself. But then you combine that with the fact that those onions were burnt, and it's just this char and that sliminess, and that was no good at all. The good news, though, Burger King has re-released the melts a couple weeks ago, I would say. I tried them out again. I revisited them, I re-reviewed them, and later on this year, they seem to have improved on them considerably. I don't believe I tried the spicy melt again, but again, just a new lineup of the melts that they have was much better. So maybe the one that I received back then was just a fluke, I'm not really sure, but they have improved somewhat, which is good. Now we're at number 2 on the list, and this is where things just get plain weird. There's no other way to describe it. I wanted to try out this one item from Arby's. It was supposed to be this pork sandwich, and what I got, well, you'll see in a minute. I still don't even know what to call it, but either way, whatever it was horrible. They call this the Bourbon Barbecue Country-Style Rib Sandwich. It's available from Arby's. Price for it is $8 for the sandwich by itself. It's a special sandwich because on it is pork rib, cheddar cheese, onions, bourbon barbecue sauce, sweet garlic, and dill pickles. Very saucy, it looks like. Very saucy sandwich. A little sauce on the sides and the top. I'm actually a bit confused right now. So, it's supposed to have pork rib, cheddar cheese. I see the cheddar on it. I think this is buffalo sauce that they put on it. I don't think this is the bourbon barbecue sauce. I think they put buffalo sauce on this. And cheese and buffalo sauce. And that's it. I mean, I don't know what this is. Is there even an item like this on their menu? I don't know. Unknown sandwich going in. No, that just doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. Their buffalo sauce pairs quite nicely with their chicken. Not their pork. I will say that. It's not good at all. I give it probably a 2 out of 10. Its flavors clash. It doesn't taste good at all. It's not enjoyable in the slightest, so I certainly, if you have the ability to customize anything, forget this. Don't even waste your time doing this. It's not worth it, one single bit. And this certainly isn't worth $8, that I could tell you. To this day, I still have no idea what that item was supposed to be or how it was so different from what I ordered. Obviously, it tasted terrible, and they were just... Again, I'm at a total loss as far as it's concerned. So while that got a 2 out of 10 rating, that was sort of... Again, I don't know if it was an accident. I don't know if maybe the folks assembling it just got things wrong. I don't know if maybe someone out there has some interesting tastes and they got the orders mixed up. I'm really not sure how that even came to be. But this final item on the list, undisputably the worst item of 2023, there were no mistakes with this one. There were no errors, there were no issues. I received exactly what I ordered, and that makes it all the worse. And even adding insult to injury, this item that you're about to see was originally released in 2021. I tried it out at the time, and I thought it was horrible then. So when they released it in 2023, I wanted to give them a shot at redemption here. I wanted to see, hey, maybe what I got back then in 2021 was just a bad one, right? Maybe they've learned from their mistakes, who knows? I was giving them a second chance, and you know what? It wasn't just bad, it was the worst, and I've watched every single review I have done over the last year, And this, without a doubt, indisputably, is the worst item I have tried in 2023. They failed miserably in 2021, and they failed miserably again this year. Burger King takes the cake, or the crown, I guess in this case, with the release, or re-release, I should say, of their original Italian chicken sandwich. Burger King has brought back their Italian original chicken sandwich. When I think of Italy, right, specifically Italian cuisine, I think of Burger King. I think you do too. I always think of sesame seed buns, right? The chicken fillet, mozzarella cheese, and marinara sauce from Burger King. That's what I think of. Forget that stupid pizza, right? This is where it's at. This Burger King chicken sandwiches, that's Italy right there. The chicken quality, I remember, was extremely subpar. The cheese was disgusting, as was the sauce. It was so salty. It didn't taste good. It tasted like there was something wrong with it. It essentially mirrored, at the time, institutional food, like something that you'd see served up in a prison or something. The Italian original chicken sandwich, round 2 from Burger King, 2023 edition, going in. It's different. Not in a good way. It doesn't taste good. And it doesn't taste bad. It tastes like nothing. It is flavorless. It is completely and totally flavorless. And I am saying this with no exaggeration. Somehow, by some miracle, this may very well have been the most flavorless item I've ever tried. Right here, right now, this may very well be it. This is the first item I think I've ever had where I actually had a full mouthful of it, and it tasted like nothing. It's like there's physical matter in my mouth, and there's literally no flavor to it. Literally nothing. So you waste $6 on this to get a dry, tasteless, flavorless piece of chicken with equally flavorless cheese and a spongy, chewy, flavorless dry bun and some marinara sauce that you could barely taste. Forget it. Burger King, they have their hits, they have their misses. Just forget this completely. Write it off. Don't even bother. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money on this. No, I'm keeping my rating where it was. 2 out of 10. It's disappointing. I'm not really surprised, but disappointed nonetheless. The Italian original chicken sandwich, just forget it. Not worth it. Yeah, there was nothing good to say about that item. In 2021, it was really salty. It was horrible in its own way back then. Then I gave it another chance this year, and it was just like this dry, flavorless matter. It was extremely unpleasant to eat. I remember when I was eating it, I was taking bite after bite, and number one, my mouth was just full of it, but there was no flavor whatsoever. But it was so dry and difficult to swallow. I remember in that review, I was just guzzling down the water like crazy as I was eating it, because it was so dry, it was sucking all the moisture out of my mouth. It was practically impossible to even consume without just trying to wash it down with water. And that was just a horrible item all around. And really, in my opinion, it almost takes some skill to have a horrible item in 2021 and then take the same item and make it equally horrible, just in a different way, the next time. Yeah, that's easily the worst item I have tried in 2023. So there you have it. It's been quite a year for releases, and of course we will see what 2024 brings. Hopefully it will be a year of many good releases, one can hope, but knowing the way things are in the world of fast food, I'm sure there's going to be their ups and downs, And of course, it'll just be what it is in the end. I know this video is a little different from what I usually do, but again, I was thinking to myself, what's the best way to do these sorts of videos? So I thought, I'll kind of be here like a moderator of sorts and then introduce the various clips of the reviews and let that do the talking, essentially, so then you could just easily see it with your own eyes. So let me know what you thought about that. And also, what did you think the worst fast food release was of 2023? Do you think it was also that item from Burger King, or do you have a different view of things? So if you were a frequent or even an infrequent fast food consumer, what was the worst thing you had this year? Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know. That's something that I'm quite curious about. Well, thank you for watching this once again. It was something a little different. Just wanted to try it out for the fun of it. And I hope at the very least this made for an entertaining viewing. That's all that I have. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.